Hi, you're watching Movie Guide. I'm Evie Bear. We're at the premiere of Maleficent, a new take on Sleeping Beauty. Take a look at some of the interviews. How do you feel about your daughter playing the villain?
If she's good at it and she likes it, I say, okay, good.
Who are some of your favorite Disney
I'm
villains?
interested to see how they play this because I'm aware of the Maleficent from the original Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested how they're going to turn this story-wise. Very interested to make this a children's movie.
Yeah.
I know Elle Fanning is going to be wonderful as the young Aurora, and her young self is going to be brilliantly played by Vivian Jolie Pitt. So this is it's very exciting.
Oh, Maleficent horns.
That's right. You should put yours on.
Did they give me some? I would wear them, but Angie would probably get a little upset with me maybe. I didn't want to upstage her, that's why I didn't wear the horns, that's the truth.
Be a part of the fight, right?
It's a total lie. I'd look hideous with the horns, let's be honest.
How was working with Angelina?
It was awesome, we had a really good time, yeah.
So Maleficent is one of the iconic Disney villains. Who are some of your favorite Disney villains?
I always talk about Jafar because I just thought I loved his voice and I loved his personality. And so he's probably at one of the ones that is at the top of my list. Yeah.
Can you give me your best evil laugh?
My best evil laugh.
Yeah.
Well, my best evil laugh is, you see, as a man, I would not do an evil laugh. As a man, I would just rip your head off. So as if you ask for my best, I would have to be a woman. I would have to be like a witch,
Okay.
and it would be like a, it would have to be something like, I see you and your little doo-doo-doo.
That was amazing!
Who are you, darling? I sort of channeled someone there. I don't know what that was.
What are the elements that you loved about this movie, like growing up?
I was always a fan of Disney, always a fan of the fairy tales, always a fan of the characters, what Walt Disney put together. And so really taking that iconic history and putting a new spin on it for a new generation, a different generation, a generation they may not have grown up to Disney, and reinventing it for a whole new audience.
It's also very cool how they've moved it into like the live action, and we're seeing all these visual effects that are very amazing. I mean, how is that to be a part of that?
I think it's great because now you get to see some iconic characters, some iconic actors come together to take those roles and come to fruition on something magical. So when you're looking at a fairy tale that was 2D animation 50 years ago, with the technology of 3D IMAX, stereophonic sound camera, it makes it a more magical experience.
So what are the elements that you liked as a child in Sleeping Beauty?
Oh, you know what's great about Sleeping Beauty as a fairy tale, and all fairy tales, I guess, Beauty and the Beast, they tell us what it's like to be human. We in this modern age, there's so many voices, there's so many shades of gray, and we think like, whoa, like where do we follow, where can we go for interesting stories? And certainly fairy tales are one of those places. And a story like Sleeping Beauty or Maleficent, which is based on Sleeping Beauty, is just that. It's a story about redemption, actually. And I think that's what's really cool about this particular movie. And to tell that kind of story with Angelina Jolie and Elle Fanning and our great crew has been a real pleasure.
Yeah, being around Disney, and you've done, kind of some of the older animated films, and bringing it into live action, how do you know what to add and take out of these stories that everybody's loved previously?
It's funny, there would have been a time maybe 20 years ago where I would have said there's a big difference between animation and live action. I'm not sure that's true anymore because, you could say, well, animation, that's where you make elephants fly. Well, any movie does that now. So the lines are blurring, and I think that's what's great about, special effects in movies and storytellers. You can use your whole bag of tricks. So you can reach in and use some animation, as we've done in this movie. Robert Stromberg, our director, used every trick in the book, from matte paintings and backgrounds and animation. And again, with these actresses and actors in this film, you can tell stories in a wonderfully subtle way, and by putting Angelina on the screen and letting her perform this character, it becomes a really, really powerful role in a way that maybe animation would have trouble, portraying.
That's a wrap from the premiere of Maleficent. Make sure to check out the full review at movieguide.org.